On the back of 3 successive defeats on the Toffees' turf, Arsenal triumphed at Goodison Park for the first time in nearly 6 years owing to a slick Stunning Trossard strike in the second half. The Gunners had not taken 3 points home from the blue half of Merseyside since Arsene Wenger's final campaign in charge in 2017-18, but Mikel Arteta's men finally found a way through after some previous tepid attacking play to move on to 13 points from their opening 5 games. Trossard was introduced into the fray earlier than anticipated, though, as Martinelli's forgettable afternoon at Goodison Park ended on the 24-minute mark. Only a few moments before being withdrawn, Martinelli thought he had prodded Arsenal into the lead, curling home into the far corner from Fabio Viera's through ball, but his strike was disallowed. Arsenal had won the ball back thanks to a fortunate deflection off the boot of Beto, who managed to block a Gabriel Magalhaes pass, but the ball flew straight to the feet of Eddie Nketiah in the final third. However, Nketiah was coming back from an offside position when Gabriel played the pass, and Beto's deflection was not deemed an intentional action, thus leading to the goal being chalked off. Martinelli had dropped to the turf immediately after his strike was ruled out, and while the severity of his issue is yet to be determined, he appeared to be feeling the back of his thigh. The 22-year-old was able to gingerly walk off the field before emerging back into the dugout, and Arteta confirmed after the game that he had tweaked his hamstring, telling the media he felt something on one of the sprints in his hammy. He will need to be assessed. Martinelli's early substitution has raised fears about his availability for Wednesday's Champions League opener with PSV Eindhoven, which precedes next Sunday's North London derby with high-flying Tottenham Hotspur. Let's go around the punditry world to hear what the experts are saying about Arsenal's hard-fought win over the Toffees.
Club and win, they caused you some pain over the last few years.
Yeah, we talked about it. This is the challenge. For 6 years we haven't won here, and there were a few reasons for it. And it's how we do things, but as well the input that you put in every single action and how you impose in this ground. And I think we played an incredible game. We kept them really, really quiet. We created many, many chances. Probably the first goal as well should be allowed, and we dominated the game. And we are extremely happy to go away with a win, with a clean sheet, and with a good feeling.
Yeah, so it's actually easier to talk about that disallowed goal because you've won anyway. But so, what did you make of it?
Yeah, it comes off the opponent, but I don't know the reason why they've done it. Yeah, we are sitting here today and we don't need it, but yeah, that could have changed the game as well much earlier.
And how is Martinelli?
Yeah, he felt something. So one of the sprints, I don't know if it was the action when he goes and scored the goal of the next one, he felt something in his hammy, so he will need to be assessed.
Okay, so what did you do here today that you've not done in the last 5 visits?
I think we took the game for longer periods to the areas that we wanted, in the way that we wanted, and we looked really solid, and we gave very, very, very little away, if I don't say nothing, because they haven't created a single chance. And that shows maturity, desire, but as well intelligence, because it's about the fight, and it's really good, and they fight and win the duel and the second ball, but at the end, that game, we're not going to win it against them, because they are bigger and they are stronger than us. But the other one, we managed to do it, and I'm really pleased the way we played.
Did you start to worry? Obviously, we've touched on the disallowed goal. At a certain point, with your record here, does the goal come just in time? You're starting to think, it's going to be again.
Another chance, and you get momentum, and you get the territory and everything, and you don't get it. But at the end, we found a way to score, and we were really solid defensively as well.
So Trossard's had to be patient at the start of this season, but that is some finish, isn't it?
That's a great finish, but he did it a few days ago with Belgium as well, and this is what we need. The players that came in the starting 11, they did really well. The subs, they did really well, and that's what is required. Now we're playing 100 minutes in the Premier League. Every 3 days we're going to have a game, and you need everybody on your toes, and this is what I want to build, that everybody feels that he's got an opportunity, and we fully trust them.
Yeah, the goal comes ultimately from a corner. He took a lot of short corners today, and actually it was sort of noticed in commentary, he took a little bit of time, then went. Can you just tell us the hard work that goes in? No. What do you mean, no?
There are different ways to attack, different ways to try to take advantages on opponents' weaknesses, and obviously they are really strong in the box, and you need alternatives, and how we find the way to open it up.
Yeah, so actually spoke to Stunning Trossard. On a very basic level, is it a case of they're all massive, so don't pump it into the box where they can head it away?
No, you can, and you can still score. It's about the possibilities and the probabilities, which is different. But yeah, it's like creating a story in the game, and the players have to feel when it's the right moment to do it.
David Raya, good, solid debut today, and I know you want competition and rotation in there, but does he need a run now to get himself comfortable and established?
What I want is that the players that deserve to play, that they play. And when Fabio deserves to play, he's been knocking in the door for a few weeks now, and you can tell that he was ready and he contributed. He had some great actions that he could have been in goals, and that's what we need. Everybody, when they are ready, they play well, and I think both of them, they did that today.
So no new number one. It's a movable feast, if you like.
And Fabio, what is it? What number is Fabio Viera?
What number?
Yeah, you said number one. Fabio, what number is he?
We're talking about the goalkeepers, though, aren't we?
Yeah, but it's not. We play with 11 players, I think. Football, 11 players. They are all the same. 11 players. Thank you.
Leandro, well played. Well, your team needed a moment of quality. Your team needed a match winner. Feel good to be that guy?
Yeah, of course. It's always nice to help your team, and especially if you can score and has the winning goal.
So talk us through that finish. So many people snatch at it in that kind of situation, but you did a lovely job of just letting the ball go across you, and sort of it swerved a little bit, didn't it, off your left foot?
No, yeah, I think it's a great action, and I called B, and he saw me, and it's a perfect layoff, and I knew I had to hit it straight with my left, and yeah, it goes in perfectly, and I'm really happy with it.
I just said to you off camera, I watch you obviously most weeks. I'm none the wiser to your strongest foot. I think it's actually the other one, isn't it? It's your right.
Yeah, it is, but I've been practicing all my life on both feet, and you can see that it helps you in the game as an attacker.
So practice, kids.
Yeah, indeed, it's so helpful if you're good on both feet, that you can go either way and obviously score goals with both feet. So it's nice.
So how aware as a team were you coming here of the poor record for the club at Goodison Park?
Yeah, of course we knew, and we obviously wanted to win the game. It's always a hard game. They give you a hard time, and. But I think we defended well the box as well today, and then a couple of chances, and then taking those chances as well. And luckily, it was a 1-0 today, and we go back with 3 points.
Just going back to the goal, can you just talk us through the ploy from corners? Took a lot of short corners, sometimes took a little bit of time over them, and then went and played. What was the thinking?
Yeah, obviously they have a lot of tall guys as well, and they're good in the air. We know that they're good on set pieces, so that's where we wanted to exploit them, and I think it helped. And yeah, that was the idea behind it, I think.
So how hard do you work on those patterns of play from short corners?
To be honest, we work hard on everything tactically. So
as a manager.
Yeah, but he does so well with the team, and the team picks it up so well, and yeah, we're really pleased with it.
And does this moment mean even more to you? Just have to be a little bit patient at the start of this season?
Yeah, of course. The competition in the team. We have so many good players, but I'm happy at the moment, and I'm happy that I could contribute today with a goal.
And a big week coming up.
Yeah, it's true. The Champions League coming up. We're really excited for that. Me as well, and yeah, looking forward to it.
And only Tottenham after that.
Yeah, it's a good week. But yeah, first let us focus on the Champions League, and then we will go ahead from there.
Okay. Well, like I said at the start, match winner, also player of the match.
Thank you very much.
Well played.
Cheers.
Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.
The winning goal and the player of the match award as well for Stunning Trossard. He got that all-important decider for Arsenal against Everton. What did you make of his all-round contribution? Because he came off the bench when Gabriele Martinelli went off. Is that his role now as a squad player? Probably feels a bit harsh, but as somebody to provide that depth.
Well, if you're at Arsenal Football Club, it's a big squad competition, like he was saying there, and he's taking his chance today, and we don't know how long Gabriel's going to be out for now. And of course, when your manager calls on you, you need to be able to repay him and stay in the team. He goes on about he's enjoying it. I'm sure he'll be enjoying it more if he's in the starting lineup. I'm pretty sure of that. But he's given himself, a good sort of headache now for the manager to play him a bit more often, because he felt very comfortable out there. He's very sort of positive, which I like to see in forward play. So and the finish as well was just brilliant.
Let's take a look at it then, because it was just like you say, a really lovely finish with the outside of his foot.
Yeah, it was. Just looking at the corner, the long time from the corner, of course.
We'll come back to this.
Yeah, okay.
So the 26 seconds that it took for Arsenal to take the corner.
The amount of corners they had was short. All of them were. So they knew what they were doing. They planned on this all week, I would have thought. And, you know, it's going to keep on going now. I have to talk for a little bit longer. But it distracts the players. It distracts Everton from their jobs. I think Jordan here actually takes his eye off the game here slightly now. You keep an eye on him right now. There he is. So it just distracts him, then they go. And it's real, you know, in these sort of positions, they like to speed up the play, interlinked with each other right now, and which I always say as a winger, cutting it back, and it's just a fantastic finish.
Do you think then they took that time to make sure that Everton would still, and then all of a sudden their quick play around the box, as you said, I think the majority of their 8 out of the 11 were short corners and pop, 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 and then Everton are dropping deeper and deeper. Do you think they were just completely flat-footed?
Yeah, I'd definitely say that. They've caught them off guard. Like I said, they got all distracted, and then they lost their players, and that's how fast Arsenal break. Yeah, so good.
And that is a lovely finish.
Well, it's a brilliant finish. He opens himself up, he puts power to it, but he slices it a bit. And Pickford has got no chance whatsoever. This is not an easy finish, you know. You have to open up your body, and then you have to put power on the ball as well. And it has to stay on target, you know, so well done. But he pops up with really important goals. And sometimes, as a manager, you need a little bit of luck, you know. Martinelli gets injured, you make it a forced change with Trossard, and he comes in and he does the business, and he makes a very important 1-0. And, you know, at the end, you know, you take the 3 points and you go away from here, where you normally never win.
Yeah, and as he said, it's a tough week coming up. He said it's a really nice week coming up with the game against PSV in the Champions League, with the North London derby coming up. Do you think now that, as you say, we don't know the extent of the injury to Martinelli, do you think now he's in with a chance of playing a big part in those games?
Yeah, I really like him, but as Theo said, the manager needs to have a bigger squad. This is a 3-game week, post-international break. You know, there might have to be rotation. We don't know what the goalkeeper situation is. Kai Havertz hasn't started today. So it's massive for them. But what I really like about Arsenal this year is I feel like they manage the game, they manage the tempo. If you know you're going into a 3-game week, I feel like at times I'm like, go on, can you do it a bit quicker? But then I'm thinking, Arteta's probably saying, manage the game, let's not get into an unnecessary battle, let's keep it moving, and they will tire. The stats first versus second half said that as well. So I'm seeing a mature Arsenal, I really am, and I think with a bigger squad, rotation, and a manager that's going, let's keep growing, I think they're doing very well. Yeah, and we'll see the effects of that, as you say, throughout this week and into next weekend. As for Everton, they did have moments within the game. Probably their best chance fall to Doucouré, do you think?
Yeah, he tried to manufacture something. He plays here, overrides his head, he dribbles in, and he's trying to attack Saliba, and Saliba just pulls his leg away, but at the right time. He still goes over his knee, but it's not really a penalty.
Could he have carried on going there?
I think he should have, and see if he could get to the ball, but obviously his decision was made. It's one of those, you know, when you have made your decision, oh, he's going to tackle me, I'm going to make the most out of this, then you're going to go down, aren't you? And it didn't. At the end of the day, the referee did a brilliant decision not giving a penalty.
Yeah. I think the ball just got away from him as well, and he's just felt, I need to go down here and just try and win something, because essentially it's probably what was going to get him back in the game was a set piece or a penalty like that.
Yeah, they were looking for something like that, but that could have been a penalty, but under the circumstances. Was that the right decision, Karen?
Oh yeah, he's looking for absolutely everything there, isn't he? It's the leg that was meant to be there that wasn't, you said earlier. And but look, Everton, if you're relying on that's their best chance. You know, I think, did you say their XG was 0.3 or something? Like, okay, you got Luton next, you've got to have something different. I like how we went, okay, we'll go 4-4-2. Calvert-Lewin's got more minutes, but I think he might have to be more attacking mind in the next couple of games. I know it's Arsenal today, so I do appreciate that, but they've got 1 point now.
Yeah, but you're still at home, though. You're still at home, so
what was disappointing,
so you have to
today,
give something to the
disappointing today was the fact they didn't have many set pieces to actually put pressure on the goalkeeper, like you said in the first half, about putting pressure on the goalkeeper.
That is, you have to give Arsenal the credit, you know, because they're not going to make stupid fouls. They don't want the ball around their box, you know, and they handled that really well. Arsenal, they kept the ball 75%, you know, and if you keep the ball 75%, you're not going to get that many corners and free kicks against. They were very patient, Arsenal. They played a lot in their final third, so it was difficult for Everton. But I think when it is a goal kick for Arsenal, that is where you have to be a little bit more attack-minded and a little bit more brave to put people forward and press from the front, and they never done that today.
Do you think the experience of Mikel being an Everton ex-player, knowing the fans, sort of trying to, you know, eat into his sort of knowledge of this Everton crowd for his Arsenal young team? Because I felt like Everton today just didn't know what to do.
I thought was brave in putting Viera in, because he took Havertz out, who you're thinking is a physical player, Everton will give you that, and he's gone, actually, no, I'm not going to put our team in a physical battle, I'm going to play. So I'm going to play my technical player and actually go against you. And that's smart.
Identity.
And it was, like you said, it's mature. Like, they don't give away fouls, they don't give away silly free kicks, they play where they've got to play. And I think I was impressed, because it's not easy off the international break with disruptions. Did they have 16 players away as well, Arsenal? It's not easy for a manager.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get us. I think us all wrong. Arsenal didn't play brilliant.
No.
But they were efficient. You know, they were calculated. They took their time with the corner, with the goal. They spoke about it, what we're going to do, and they did it. They done it. And obviously, somebody needs to pop up with a goal. But they always had the confidence that that moment would come. And in the past, it's been different with Arsenal. And they're growing, they're maturing, as what Mitchie said.
I want to ask you the question that you asked Karen as well, which is, do you think that Mikel Arteta used his experience as a former Everton player to play the crowd as well as the team?
Yeah, looking at that, putting that question to me, yes, I would say.
Well, because you're the one who's played here. You know,
like there's this Arsenal team which are, like you say, feeling like they're a bit more mature now, but they wouldn't have had many experiences here. Looking at the fixtures we had previously, which have had not positive results, maybe that's what they've been lacking, not actually playing the crowd, because it's a really tough place to play football, and you need to play against the crowd. Maybe sometimes more than the actual team. And they did everything right today. They frustrated the whole crowd, they frustrated everything about this place. And that's how you get results here. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of teams that will take, a little bit from Mikel's sort of setup today,
Yeah, they were definitely frustrating the Everton crowd in this
and
game.
In here.
And there was, but you could feel that element of frustration. But Arsenal still managing to create a lot themselves as well. And we saw Odegaard in particular with a few chances, even though their XG was just over 1 for Arsenal. There were chances and half chances and opportunities in there.
Yeah, Odegaard could have had man of the match today as well. Again, he's just technically one of the gifted players in this league, a little bit similar to Kevin De Bruyne, the left-footed sort of version. But yeah, he would have been very disappointed in that chance, I would have thought, and maybe this one. But he's done everything right. He can't really look for an option. And everyone recovered well, but it's just, it's beautiful to watch. He really is.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I like him. So elegant, always looking forward for a striker. You want to play with midfielders like that, He's always looking, can I manipulate the ball? Can I play my striker in? Can I do something positive? As I said, he's very elegant. The only thing that I would want him to do more is scoring goals. He's got lots of assists, but I would want him to score more goals, because Arsenal will need those goals to come from different places, more from wingers and more from those two number 8s.
Could be tougher tests to come for Arsenal, but they remain 2 points behind the league leaders Manchester City. However, it has been a really difficult start to the season for Everton, and yet it was another tricky day at the office today. Let's hear from Ashley Young with Patrick Davison.
Ashley, always tough after a defeat, so thanks for coming out. What did you make of the Everton performance?
I think at times we were resilient. We had to defend as a team, especially in the first half. We've done it really well, and I think we nullified them. Obviously, we've been done by a set piece, which is disappointing, and not to come away from the game with at least a point is obviously disappointing.
They obviously had a lot of the ball. How threatened did you feel defensively?
I don't think we did, to be honest. There's a couple of times where they got in behind, but we kept our shape. Like I say, we were resilient, and we nullified them to only a few chances. And like I say, getting done by a set piece is obviously disappointing. We knew they was going to have a lot of the ball, a lot of possession. especially in the first half. I think when we got it back, we gave it away too cheap, and at times it was tough. But we stayed in the game, and to concede in that way, it was obviously disappointing.
Was that the key what you just touched on there? Actually, in terms of resilience defensively, good for the most part, but just giving it away and maybe not offering enough going the other way.
I think at times that was the way, and we said at half time that if we're going to play out there, we've got to hold the ball up and get one or two passes and put it together. But like I said, we were obviously disappointing to lose the goal in the fashion that we did.
Yeah, what should have happened with that goal? They took a lot of corners short. What do you need to be switched on for defensively there that perhaps you, and I don't mean you, but as a group?
Just for them obviously taking the short corner and releasing men from the box to get out to the ball a lot quicker. So like I say, we weren't able to do that, and they scored from it.
You've been a pro 20 years now, actually been there, seen it, done it all. How concerning a situation is this right now in the early part of the season?
Of course, we're a few games in. We're disappointed not to get 3 points out of any of the games, and especially when we've created the chance that we have, and we've been on top in games. So it's one of them things that is disappointing. But I know I've got every faith in that squad and that team and that dressing room that we can turn things around.
So with all your experience, don't panic.
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
On the subject of that experience, how much does it help having a 38-year-old in a squad where there is going to be pressure, that this is going to be another intense, difficult season, it looks like?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, he's very experienced. He's a manager's dream in terms of communication, being a captain on the pitch and leading out there, and you might know more about him than myself. But yeah, I mean, some of his interview, and I'm like, yeah, you've kept them at bay, you've conceded from a set piece, and kind of visit a team and you go, right, did we expect to get a result here, and the next ones are the big important ones, but they're still relying on three teams being worse than them at this moment. And for me, that's tough, and I still think in possession you can be better. I still think there's elements that they'll go away and think we need to be better on, but yeah, it's tough for Everton at the moment.
Is that the kind of character that Ashley Young is around the club?
Yes, that's the sort of character he is. He's a winner. He's obviously been at the top, and he expects perfection. He expects everyone to work hard as a minimum. And yeah, like a room for improvement. There was no identity today. That I'm quite sure everyone seemed like didn't know what they were doing. There was no sort of plan. It didn't seem like that. But like I said, these are free hits, these games. But when it's 0-0 for so long, like you're saying, be smart, try and win free kicks. I know it's not the right way of playing, but they need to. That was the only way they were going to get back in that game today. But yeah, going back to Ashley, he's very professional. Like I say, playing at 38 still. I'm 34 and I've had to call it a day. So it just shows that yeah, he cares. He wants to win. So yeah, he's very important for that dressing room. Keep him fit, which is really important as well. And Seamus Coleman as well, being another sort of, you think of Everton as him. So he's important to come back soon as well.
Yeah, I mean, as much as they can offer in terms of support and driving the dressing room on, what they can't really do and what they're not really there to do is to score goals for Everton, and that's where their issue is. Just those 2 goals against Sheffield United so far in the 5 games they've played this season, Jimmy, and even in terms of what they're creating, if they are creating anything, it's not going in.
No, and that is the problem for me. They're not creating enough. Calvert-Lewin came back today, has been injured. He is very, very important. He needs to be kept fit. But then also the wingers, they need to create more. They need to take more responsibility. It cannot just be only the back four to keep clean sheets and that kind of stuff. They need to bring more. And they can only change that together, helping the strikers getting the ball, but also Calvert-Lewin need to stay fit.